I could record it and I won't put your name on it. Is that I can remain anonymous?
That'd be all right. Yeah, that'll work.
All right. Thank you so much. I just met your friend Pete. He's staying at our little motel, and we've got Bigfoot stuff everywhere.
Okay.
And he goes, I know two friends of mine saw some Bigfoot while they were fishing in Illinois.
Right.
And he told me this story, and I go, oh my God, that's like striking gold or finding gold, because I love documenting these stories.
It's definitely pretty striking, because once I seen it, I seen 5 of them.
Wow. Can you tell me what date this was?
Oh, Christ. We were, I'd say 91 and 92 is in August.
Where were you?
On the Illinois River up by Henry, Illinois.
Okay. And what time of day was it?
Oh, this was at probably around 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And you were fishing in a boat?
Yes.
And you and your
friend of mine, I won't say his name. I can tell you the story. I mean, we went over there early during the daylight. And we were getting our shad and everything. We fished north of Henry for a while. Wasn't catching anything. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so we decided, well, we're going to go down and get shad. You can get shad. We pull a net behind a boat to get our bait. And we went down to this opening. Now, this would be about 3 miles south of Henry. It's where there's the main bank of the river. Then there's a backwater. Then there's an island. Then there's the channel. Then there's another island. Then there's backwater. So we was kind of fishing in an opening into the backwater. I looked across where we were anchored at, and I looked across through the island tree, the trees on the island, and I see there's another boat on the other side of the island. I could see his bow lights. Thought it was people. I didn't know what the hell it was. Walking on the island, I didn't pay attention to it, because there's people that go down there and camp every once in a while. But anyway, it was cold that night. There wasn't a lot of boats out. And I told my buddy, I said, man, we ain't seen no barges. Well, as soon as I said that, here come a barge from Peoria ways going north up past Henry. So we sat there for a little bit. We're kind of close to the channel. I said, I think we better lift the ankles there up and get over a little bit more. Well, we did that. Here come another barge from the south. He went up. And we got set back up again. Here come one from the north. And this barge has got to turn to stay in the channel. There's an island right there. He's got to turn to the left. Well, they got them big lights on top of them. You know, they can light up each side of the bank. And we were sitting there fishing alongside this island. And they lit us up. Well, that's when I see them. I just sit there. I'm sitting there looking. There's 4 of them in the water, or 3 in the water. There's one up on the bank, and a little one standing in front of them, about 60 yards. And them 3 like made a little box, a little square. And they froze. They wasn't moving. I'm sitting there looking at it, and they're kind of even shining because they're wet. Well, they ain't moving, and I'm sitting there, and I ain't saying nothing. I look, my buddy finally says, is them effing monkeys? And I kind of laugh because the monkey's a little guy, you know what I mean? Well, he goes, well, them bears? I said, no, they ain't bears, you know, and they stood out. We're just, you know, looking at them. I mean, we're just kind of, what in the hell? You know, and they ain't moving. Well, that barge finally moved their light. And I could see the backs of them, how their shoulders, they were like cone head, no neck, long arms. But they were probably had about 6 inches of hair on them, but they were wet. And you could see the muscles in their upper body. I mean, but they didn't move. until that barge almost got ready to move the light. They got a little nervous, and they handed that one. There was one up by the standing in front of a tree with that little one. It handed the little one down to the three, and then the lights went out. This stupid barge moved the light, went over to the other side. So we're looking for the Q beam and finding it in the boat. So we weren't taking our eyes off them. And they cleared that water, and we got one of them in the face with the Q beam. They come out of that water quick. But that's my story. And we had them on another island, but didn't know it. So.
What did the face look like?
I could tell. It was too far. It was dark. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. They were long haired, kind of lanky leg, but upper body, they were just massive. I mean, they're probably about 4 foot across. The three were big. And they were protecting that little one, what they were doing.
Yeah. What color hair did they have?
Black. Well, it was wet. They come across that river. That was what I think was what we seen on the island, or we didn't pay attention to it. We kept them walking on that island in between. We had them in between two boats. We didn't know it. We thought it was just people over there. I seen them, but yeah, they're something else to see. I can tell you that.
Was the little one black as well?
Yeah, he's just shorter, just smaller. I'm pretty good size. I'm 6'4", about 300 pounds, and I was probably about the size of maybe that one up on the bank. And this one was about halfway up its chest is all. And I seen it lean out when they handed it out to the three big ones. Then the lights went out. Then we're looking for the stupid Q beam in the boat. And we drove down there after we pulled anchors up and stuff. We got away from the bank a little bit. We didn't know what was on the island. That was another island. But there ain't nothing you can do with them buddies.
All right. When you said you got your light and you hit the one in the face, where were they going? Were they going up on the island, or were they going back down in the water?
Well, the ones in the water already cleared it. They was up. One turned around behind a tree, and that was, they were gone.
Okay.
But three of them were down in the water. Say again?
So they went up on the island somewhere.
Yeah, they went straight up the bank. That bank, the water was down. It was during a drought that year, and the river was way down, and the bank was probably 4.5 foot up from the water up to the bank. And they cleared that. That was nothing. But I didn't see them clear. See?
Yeah. And you pulled your anchor and you kind of drove over there.
Yeah, we rode down. Yeah, we rode down there, kind of staying out looking, but we couldn't see that.
And how close did you get to the bank?
Oh, probably 25 foot, maybe.
Oh, so pretty close. Can you see where they walked? Could you see
no,
track?
it was dry. It was hard. No. Like I say, it was a drought that summer. I mean, the river was way down. Everything, But like I say, they didn't move the whole time until they handed that little one down to them three. Then the lights went out. With the barge spotlight, he moved his light to look on the other side of the island, on the other side. Because he's going down through there to turn. And the barge is what lit him up.
Yeah.
We'd have never seen him if it wasn't for the barge.
So how big is that island?
Oh, it's pretty, there's a couple of them there. If you start from the bank on the far side, you got the edge of the river, then you got a backwater. And then you got an island. Then you got the river with the channel in it. That's where the barges travel. Then you had another island. Then you got another backwater.
Okay.
The channel right there, you know, it's pretty narrow there where the channel's at.
But these islands
But they just happen to be on the other island, huh?
These islands are pretty big, you think?
Well, some of them are pretty decent size. I mean, they might be, well, it just depends. They might be, 3 or 4 blocks long, maybe, you know, or maybe, you know, a little shorter.
Yeah.
It's just the river goes down through there. You know, some of it's backwaters where it's only like maybe 4 foot deep. If it's that, and it's a mud.
All right.
But they was on that other island. We had them in between 2 boats. Well, I guess that's what it was. But they was wet. They come across that river in between them barges. And they were just standing. 3 of them was standing in the water. One was up on the bank, and one had a little one right in front of the one standing by the tree. And they just froze.
Did you ever see any eye shine?
No.
Nope. And then when you saw these things, they did not move. Could you see their hands by chance?
They had real long, lanky arms. I couldn't really. They were probably standing in 3 foot of water or something like that. I could see their arms, their shoulders, their waist. But there's 3 of them like in a box. You know, like one standing here, there, one standing here, and one standing on the end.
And they were.
They just froze. They knew they was caught. What?
Yeah. Were they facing each other?
One was facing each other, like if I'm standing up and another person across the room looking at me, and then one on the right of me, on the end, looking in.
Okay.
Like a little box.
Like a box.
And those 3 was in the water. They were the biggest ones.
And you mentioned the one on the shore handed the little one to those 3 in the water.
Yeah, it extended the little one out to the 3 big ones. And that's when we lost the light from the barge. They moved. Then we couldn't see nothing.
How did it pick it up? Did it pick it up like by its shoulders?
No, I just leaned it out with his arm.
Just like grabbed it and stuck it
like a little kid, and you just hand it out to somebody.
Okay.
It stretched out to them. And that's when the lights went out. Yep.
And you said they had cone-shaped heads.
They had like I can't hardly hear you. Their heads were like cones. They didn't have no neck. You know, like a cone-shaped head sitting on shoulders. Okay. And their shoulders, they look like it's 4 foot across, easy. I mean, they had some big. Since they were wet, it showed their muscular, their upper body. It was huge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, they were huge. I mean, they had long arms. But they didn't have they didn't like a cone head to come down. They just come down and sat on their shoulders. But you could see their biceps. You could see it. I mean, because they was wet. They probably might have had hair length of 6 inches, but it was all wet. So it was stuck to them, It was. Yeah. So.
And what did your friend say afterwards?
You know what? When we loaded up and went back, and he seen a cop come down and drive around when we was loading up the boat. It must have been about 2 or 3 in the morning. And he said, I want to tell him. I said, what are you going to tell him? He ain't going to believe nothing you tell you. So on the way home, we had to drive about 80 miles. And we talked a little bit about it. He wanted to go back there. I said, how are you going to go back there? What are you going to do? Well, go look for him. I said, well, you can't go do that. I mean, this is private property or whatever. It's all floodplain. But he told me at the time, he said, I'm 42 years old, and I ain't scared of nothing. I'm scared of going to the woods. So that's about all the comment. Yeah, they didn't bother us. I mean, nothing like that.
Right.
Like I say, if it wasn't for the barge, we never would have seen them.
Have you told many other people?
Oh, yeah, I told my wife as I go home, yeah. I told, Pete, who's staying down there, and, yeah, I told.
What did your wife say when you told her?
Well, she believed me. I mean, I said, you wouldn't believe what I seen. I know what I seen. So, because like I said, I just sat there and watched until my buddy says, "Is them monkeys?" So I knew he was seeing the same thing I was seeing. I didn't say nothing. Then he seen them.
Yeah.
So that is verified for me. So.
And you're a veteran, correct?
Yes, I am.
And well, thank you for your service. And your friend's a veteran as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder, do you think he would talk to me too if I won't use his name, but do you think he would
I
talk
don't
to me
think
as well?
so. Because I asked him about it, and he don't break it. He don't tell nobody because he thinks they won't believe him anyway, so he don't tell you anything.
Oh, well, I believe him. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, I've interviewed probably over 500 witnesses, law enforcement, park rangers, veterans. So I'm 100% a believer. So maybe if I could reassure him, or you could reassure him that I'm legit, and
Well,
I would
that's
love to
fine, but I just don't need to spread out on YouTube or my name being used. That's just like I said. I seen them back in the '90s. I seen them. I know they're real.
Yeah.
I mean, there ain't no doubt in my mind. I met another person who was deer hunting, and he had one go, 20 yards by him, and he put it on the Bigfoot SRO, whatever it is that he's on there for that. Well, if you look at the state of Illinois on that BFRO or whatever it is, there's a whole bunch of sightings up around Henry, Illinois, up around LaSalle, Star Rock area, LaSalle County, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of sightings.
Yeah, I'm
but
aware.
This was just a family of them, and we just lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time, because you never would have seen them if it wasn't for the barge.
Yeah.
They don't want to cross that river. We'd never known the difference.
I'm jealous. I wish I would have seen them.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I was seeing what I was seeing, I thought, "Holy cow, man! Now this is something here." Because I'll tell you what, it'll put a lump in your throat. I'll tell you, that's just something you don't see.
No,
and I was sitting there, I was saying, there ain't no way 5 people in suits are out here in the river at 1 o'clock in the morning playing games.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And being that big.
Exactly.
Didn't smell nothing like that. Didn't have nothing. Like I say, if it wasn't for the barge, we never would have seen them.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were going to say you did not smell them.
No. No.
Yeah.
Well, it was wet. I mean, we just don't know.
Right.
Wind might not be right. You know what I'm saying.
Right.
But that's all. There ain't no houses down in there. There's conservation areas. It's a floodplain. You can't build down in there, and there's plenty of them. I think they travel. I do.
But I agree. Can you tell me again, real quick? You said this was about 3 miles from where?
Henry, Illinois, south of Henry.
And Henry is on the river?
Yeah.
And this is about 3 miles south of Henry?
South of Henry, yeah.
Gotcha. And is there another landmark there? Like, what would you say would be another landmark besides the islands?
No, it ain't really, except you can see where the island is, where the channel goes. One of them that says Marshall County Conservation and be on the right-hand side going towards Peoria on the river. but it's a conservation area on that bank. Then you get in the water, that's backwaters. Then you get to an island. Then you get to the channel. Then it's another island. Then it's backwaters.
Okay.
So there ain't nothing in there. I mean, for miles, you know.
Do you think, are those islands still there today?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, this is exciting. I thank you so much for sharing this story.
Well, just don't use my name and whatever.
No, you have my word. I won't use your name. I'll just take the recording. I'll put it on there with the date, the kind of the location. And what happens is people will see that, and a lot of times I'll get more witnesses from that same area.
Right. Well, if you go look at what is it, Bigfoot? What was the program they had on?
Yeah, the bfro.net. bfro.net.
Okay, if you go there and go to the state of Illinois and go to LaSalle County and read some of them. There's some people up there that's seen a family of 5. So that's a general area.
Okay.
There's a guy on a Harley motorcycle that's seen one twice at night, late at night, eating corn in a cornfield.
In the same area?
Well, in the same general area, because they probably travel.
Right, I agree.
But we just I think they were on that intermediate island. It's probably about 3 blocks long, and it ain't that wide. And there's islands up along and through the river. There's little islands, and they flood, and then you can get on them, you know. But you can see through. Some of them are real narrow. You can see through the other side. Like I can see the bow lights of that other boat over there.
Right.
And when they were walking, I could see some go across, stop the light. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I could see somebody moving. Because we had a lantern in our boat. It lit us up. I mean, we were lit up.
Yeah,
but that barge lit everybody up.
Yeah, good thing you got to see them.
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for the barge, we wouldn't have seen them. There ain't no doubt in my mind. But I tell you what, they are big. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much for sharing this story. And I'll try to contact your friend, and maybe he might talk, if he remains anonymous. So.
Well, he's going to probably remain anonymous because he don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, people get ridiculed.
People bug you. I told some people where I worked at and stuff, and one couple of them believe me. A lot of them believe me because it's the same story I've told them for 20-some years. But some of them won't believe me, and I said, well, I seen them. I know what the hell I see. I know what I hunt and stuff. I know what's in the woods. I mean, it ain't no bear. It ain't no little monkey. Little monkey's a little thing. These things are big apes. I mean, they're big. I can't say they're apes. I can't say, well, I can say that back of one, he's about 60 yards from me. But, I couldn't shoot one of them. I don't know what the hell they are. The only way I could if they come straight at me, maybe, then I probably would.
Yeah.
But no, they wouldn't bother me. Hell, they might be half human. Hell, I don't know. I don't know what they are. So. Yeah,
a lot of people don't know. But it's
and they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be messed with. If you go to Illinois on that BFRO, you'll see a lot of them in Illinois.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of them along the rivers.
Yep. Well, listen, thank you so very much again. And I'll anything comes up, I'll be in touch. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.